Fractured reflections. Olivia clutched the chipped porcelain doll tighter, its vacant eyes offering a cold comfort in the dimly lit attic. Dust motes danced in the single shaft of sunlight that pierced a cobweb-draped window, illuminating a labyrinth of forgotten furniture and tarnished trinkets. It had been a week since Olivia had inherited Blackwood Manor, a sprawling Victorian mansion perched atop a windswept cliff overlooking the churning sea. The house, with its oppressive silence and labyrinthine rooms, felt as much a burden as a legacy. On the first night, a rhythmic tapping echoed from an unseen source, sending shivers down Olivia's spine. The next day, she stumbled upon a hidden room behind a tapestry. Inside, a single antique mirror stood sentinel, its silvered surface clouded with age. As Olivia drew closer, a shiver ran down her spine. Reflected in the glass wasn't a mere image of herself, but a woman with a face etched with despair, her eyes filled with an unsettling darkness. Intrigued and unnerved, Olivia began to research Blackwood Manor's history. The town archives yielded a chilling tale. The mansion was built by the Blackwood family, a lineage steeped in secrets and whispers of madness. The last resident, a woman named Evelyn Blackwood, vanished mysteriously decades ago. Was the woman in the mirror Evelyn, trapped within the confines of the fractured reflection? The tapping grew louder, more insistent, seemingly emanating from behind the mirror. Olivia spent sleepless nights consumed by curiosity and a creeping fear. Finally, armed with a crowbar, she shattered the mirror. A scream, both mournful and angry, ripped through the room, the sound echoing through the silent halls. A frigid wind whipped through the shattered frame, momentarily extinguishing the oil lamp, plunging the room into darkness. When Olivia fumbled for a match, a figure materialized before her. It was the woman from the mirror, Evelyn, but older, her face a mask of fury. Her eyes, the same shade of icy blue as the stormy sea outside, held a terrifying familiarity. "You've released me," Evelyn rasped, her voice a dry whisper that sent chills down Olivia's spine. "But your actions have consequences." Olivia stumbled back, fear choking her voice. Evelyn, with an unsettling swiftness, reached out and gripped Olivia's hand. A jolt of icy energy coursed through Olivia's body, a feeling of violation mingled with an unsettling sense of connection. "We are bound now," Evelyn hissed, her touch lingering, bound by blood and by a fractured reflection. Evelyn vanished as abruptly as she'd appeared, leaving Olivia shaken and confused. The nightmares began soon after. Vivid dreams of Evelyn's imprisonment, a struggle with an unseen force, a scream cut short. The whispers, once faint, now echoed relentlessly in Olivia's ears, weaving a narrative of betrayal and vengeance. Driven by a morbid curiosity and a gnawing sense of guilt, Olivia delved deeper into Blackwood Manor's secrets. In the dusty library, she found a hidden diary detailing Evelyn's descent into madness. The diary spoke of a jealous twin sister, Amelia, who coveted everything Evelyn possessed: their parents' love, their social standing, and most importantly, a handsome suitor named Charles. Amelia, the diary revealed, had lured Evelyn to the hidden attic and pushed her through a concealed trapdoor. Evelyn survived the fall, trapped and alone in a forgotten room below the mansion, her screams drowned out by the relentless wind and the crashing waves. Olivia felt a cold dread fill her stomach. Evelyn had no other family. Amelia must be her ancestor. Was there a connection between the shattered mirror and Evelyn's imprisonment? Was Olivia somehow complicit in her ancestor's crime? The nightmares escalated, morphing into waking visions. Olivia would see Evelyn's face superimposed on her own reflection, hear the whispers intensify until they became a maddening cacophony. The once familiar halls of Blackwood Manor began to twist and turn, taking on a nightmarish appearance. Unable to confide in anyone, Olivia became a prisoner within her own inheritance. One particularly unsettling morning, staring at her reflection in the bathroom mirror, Olivia saw a subtle change. A hint of darkness seemed to cloud her eyes, mirroring Evelyn's spectral gaze. Panic seized her. Was the fractured reflection taking hold? Was Evelyn trying to possess her? Determined to find a solution, Olivia scoured Blackwood Manor for clues. In the attic, she discovered a hidden compartment behind a loose floorboard. Inside, a faded portrait of Amelia lay concealed, a cruel smile twisting her lips. On the back of the portrait, Olivia found a cryptic inscription: Veritas revelator in stultitia, truth is revealed in folly. A desperate hope bloomed in her chest. Was this the key to breaking the curse? Days blurred into weeks as Olivia researched the inscription. Finally, she discovered an obscure reference to a ritual performed. She wouldn't succumb. She would fight, not just for herself, but for Evelyn's tormented soul. Research turned into a frantic quest. Poring over dusty tomes in the library, she learned of a forgotten ceremony involving moonlight, a silver chalice, and a single white rose, a symbol of innocence lost. The chalice, according to the fragmented text, was hidden somewhere within the mansion. Days bled into nights as Olivia scoured every nook and cranny. Finally, behind a bricked-up fireplace in the drawing room, she unearthed a tarnished silver chalice, its surface etched with swirling symbols. The night of the full moon arrived, casting an eerie glow upon Blackwood Manor. Olivia stood before the shattered mirror, the moonlight painting a spectral path across the dusty floor. As instructed, she placed the chalice on a pedestal before the broken glass, its reflection distorted and fragmented. Tentatively, she picked a single white rose from the overgrown garden, a silent apology to Evelyn for the sins of the past. A chilling gust of wind swept through the room, extinguishing the candles and plunging her into darkness. Panic clawed at her throat, but she held her ground, the rose clutched tightly in her hand. "Evelyn Blackwood," she called out, her voice wavering in the stillness. "I am here. I seek to right the wrongs done to you." Silence. Then, a faint shimmering in the shattered reflection. The image of Evelyn materialized, no longer corporeal but a spectral echo of her former self. Her eyes, the blue of a stormy sea, held a mixture of anger and desperation. "Foolish girl," Evelyn rasped, her voice a chilling whisper. "Do you truly believe you can undo the past?" "I can try," Olivia replied, her voice surprisingly steady. "Tell me what I need to do." A flicker of surprise crossed Evelyn's spectral face, but before she could speak, a wave of dark energy pulsed from the broken mirror. A guttural growl echoed through the room, a sound that sent shivers down Olivia's spine. A formless mass of darkness materialized from the shattered glass, tendrils snaking towards Evelyn. It was a malevolent entity, the embodiment of the curse that had imprisoned Evelyn for so long. "You dare trespass on my domain," the entity boomed, its voice a cacophony of whispers. "This power is mine." Fear threatened to cripple Olivia, but the sight of Evelyn's terror fueled her courage. Stepping forward, she held out the white rose, the moonlight reflecting off its soft petals. "This isn't yours to claim," she declared. "This is Evelyn's soul, and she deserves peace." The entity recoiled from the rose as if burned. This vulnerability, fleeting as it was, gave Olivia a sliver of hope. With a deep breath, she poured her emotions into her voice. Regret for Amelia's betrayal, sorrow for Evelyn's suffering, and a desperate plea for release. The room pulsed with an unseen energy. The entity hissed, its form flickering. Olivia held the rose higher, tears blurring her vision. Slowly, a change came over Evelyn. The anger in her spectral eyes softened, replaced by a longing for peace. With a final, agonizing scream, the entity dissipated into wisps of dark smoke. The air in the room grew clear, the oppressive weight lifting. Evelyn turned to Olivia, a hint of a smile gracing her spectral lips. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice filled with a newfound lightness. "You have freed me from this torment." As the first rays of dawn painted the sky, Evelyn's form flickered and faded. A gentle breeze rustled through the room, carrying with it the scent of salt and the distant cry of seagulls. The shattered mirror remained, but it no longer reflected a haunting visage. It simply showed an empty room. Olivia collapsed onto the dusty floor, the weight of the experience bearing down on her. She had survived, but the events had left their mark. The whispers were gone, replaced by a profound silence, yet the experience had irrevocably changed her. Blackwood Manor would never be a place of comfort, but it was no longer a prison. It was a monument to the past, a constant reminder of the consequences of betrayal and the power of forgiveness. And Olivia, forever linked to the fractured reflection, was determined to honor Evelyn's memory, forever carrying the story of the woman trapped within the walls.